My name is Abe Rich. I'm Chair Emeritus at Fox Rothschild, where I've had the privilege of practicing law for over 43 years. Part of that privilege was meeting a young lawyer in 1994 by the name of Greg Williams. Greg was a summer associate at Fox, and I have observed his maturation as a lawyer, as a person, as a father, as a husband, and as a leader, not only in the firm, but in the legal community and the community at large.
His success. He's grown up in a family who's always have a love for God and are Christians. He actually drew me into, giving my life to Christ. He reads his Bible daily. Even before he starts his day at work, he reads his Bible daily. He instilled that into our children to have a faith-based life. Because of his faith and his other core values that he has, it's just something that he naturally, has acquired. People just kind of gravitate to him, just ask him for advice, whether it be family or his co-workers, his friends. I think he just has that natural ability just to listen and to help people, through their problems.
One of the most special people that I know. He has this quiet determination about him. He is a wonderful advocate for his clients, a really amazing human being in terms of his compassion, his care of the community, his volunteerism. He has been a leader in the community, and while I have mentored him, he's grown to mentor me.
Core values, I would say, are excellence again. He lives by the verse of Romans 8:37. I can conquer all things through Christ who strengthens me, and also Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ. I think those really drives his core value to be excellent at what he does. That
Greg is a very results-oriented person, and it showed me that you need to be the same way too. There's many things to laud him for, and that's part of the reason why we're honoring him today. But behind that is a lot of hard work. So I've seen his commitment to his work, situations in the community. I've had an opportunity to see him internally function within our firm. And one of the things that really is a hallmark of his leadership style and the way that he approaches issues, that he listens. He is a very, very good listener, and he will just completely lock into what you're saying and digest it before he responds. And it's really important that I note that about him, because a lot of people in his position are more so willing to tell you what they want, but aren't willing to hear you out first in terms and seeing how you can collaborate with him to make something better.
Hardworking is definitely something that describes Greg. He's definitely a servant that leads. He leads by example. He's not afraid to go into the trenches with you on a project or initiative. And he's not just a person to sit on the sidelines, but he really is in there with you, getting the work done, making sure the project is completed and on time and done with a level of excellence. And that's definitely something that describes Greg, is that he has an excellent spirit about him, and that he definitely is someone who leads.
Our daughter is 26 now, and our son is 19. But when they were younger, he made it to our son's baseball games, basketball, football. We kept him pretty busy as a young man, and he made it to all his games. And also our daughter, he made it to her concerts, her track meetings. So just his love and wanting to make sure that his family knows that, he supports them, even though he lives, a busy, work life, he still finds time to be with his family during, special events and in their lives.
Greg has been able to bring together politicians and attorneys and judges and their families and galvanize them to help the underserved in our community, and to do it in a way that is refreshing and engaging. And I don't think there's any other event in the bar where you see families of practitioners working together to help the community, to better the community. And that's definitely something that Greg initiated, that he started, and it's become the signature event of the bar.
Agree to participate in service projects, you know, and not just within the city of Wilmington, but statewide. I'm going to make this truly as an event where everyone within our bar is going to feel connected and included. That was a vision he had, and it wasn't easy to carry out, but he built consensus. He was passionate about the idea, and he built consensus, and he got people at the table who bought into the vision.
Right.
And now it's something that our bar, it's a tradition now. It's something that we just do. But we have to remember that that wasn't always the case.
If you look at how he has traditionally run the Martin Luther King breakfast, you know, by all rights, he's the one who could have the most speaking roles. He's made a point of featuring the younger lawyers who lean in and do a lot of the work, and to give them featured roles and an opportunity to really shine.
And this was something that had never been done in our state bar. And so when Greg initiated it, there was a little bit of pushback from folks. And I was the co-chair of the breakfast with Greg. And when we received that pushback, one of the first things that Greg did was, you know, he kind of shut down, okay, enough of the emails, enough of the phone calls. Let's get together, let's have a face-to-face meeting, order some pizza, and we'll talk through these issues so that we can put together a great breakfast and day of service. And as a result of that meeting, we were able to put together a great breakfast, and it's now become one of the signature events of the Delaware State Bar Association. So I was very happy to work with him in being the co-chair of that project and see him lead in that way.
A lot of people don't realize that it was very fitting to have the Dr. King holiday on a Monday, because people who don't actually study Dr. King's life don't realize that he loved a long weekend more than anybody. And so he would have been very proud to have the country have a relaxing long weekend. As a minister, if you can get a Monday off after an exhausting Sunday, that means a lot. And then, of course, what does Williams do? Pretty much takes it away from us and makes us dedicate that day to service. What kind of way is that to honor Dr. King?
As a person, he is someone who people deeply respect. I've had the opportunity to work side by side with him on major litigation matters, and he is an excellent lawyer and someone who is a pleasure to work with.
They were first Thurgood Marshall, Justice Marshall on the Supreme Court, Lewis Redding as the first African-American lawyer in Delaware. Greg was a first in our firm in many ways, in terms of his leadership, his drive for diversity. He was the original co-chair of our diversity committee. He approached the issue of diversity as he would a challenging case. And I think both Justice Marshall and Lewis Redding would be proud of the way that he has marshaled the forces in the name of diversity to make the firm a much better place, the profession a much better place, and the world a much better place. The award is quite fitting for Greg and his accomplishments. While very few lawyers could be a Thurgood Marshall or even a Lewis Redding, Greg Williams certainly personifies the best of their qualities.
Mr. Redding would be very proud of Greg Williams. I think that Greg would share with me the belief that Mr. Redding would also say, I wish there were a lot more Greg Williams, and that his heart would be broken to see the current state of our community, and that if we really want to honor his legacy, Mr. Redding's, then we need to work with people like Greg Williams, and we all need to begin to take really big action to make our community better. And part of why I've been honored to work with people like Greg Williams is we're trying to do what we can, and we need more leaders like him if we're going to get to the place that Mr. Redding wanted us to be at, because we're not anywhere close right now.